it is Sunday and Feb 2nd actually. So we're now into February and it is snowing. They said we were going to get snow and it's snowing just a little bit. It's not really sticking very well, so you never know. We're in Vancouver, it's a bit like the UK. If you get about a centimetre of snow, everything closes down. So it's just the way it is. We're not really built for the snow conditions here. We don't really get a ton of snow shoveling. Having said that, they've been pretty on top of it because we've been aware of the snow warning anyway. Enough of the weather report. I thought for this vlog I would talk about travel. So last year I travelled to the UK. I had to go there because I haven't seen family I hadn't seen my brother and his family for about 5 years. So it was really due for me to come, and it's actually a little bit easier for me to go than it is for their entire family. It's a big family to come over. So I did that, which included going to London, going to Staffordshire, which included going to Wedgwoods. I did a short stint in Wedgwoods actually for a work experience, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But that was when I was doing a display design course at a college called Burslem, which was known for its pottery. And yeah, so like I said, I'll probably talk about that a bit more in a later vlog about kind of my background and my experiences. But I did go to Burslem Art College, and Clarice Cliff was one of those people that went there, and she was a famous pottery designer. And I think they did a docurama maybe, or just a drama about the life of Clarice Cliff and all the famous pottery designers back then. I also wrote a dissertation. It was about the declining pottery industry, because when I came out of school, a lot of my friends thought they were going to get a job for life in the pottery industry, not realising I'd already noticed this, that people were losing their jobs because the factories were closing down because of the cheaper imports that were coming in. Anyway, so I did a whole dissertation on that when I was at university as my final presentation, or my thesis, I think they call it out here. Which dissertation is basically 10,000 word essay, and really enjoyed doing that. I did meet a lot of managers, owners, who were actually upset and devastated by what would happen because they were having to close up their factories. So yeah, it was quite an interesting research paper that I did. And then in London, we went to some various locations. Didn't get to do as much as I wanted to do, basically because a lot of places are closed down, preparing for their next month's gallery displays. So that was a bit of a shame. But I did go down to Hampshire, got family in Hampshire as well, so I met family in Hampshire, hung out with a friend in London, and a couple of friends in London, and then so that was the UK trip, and I'll probably put some videos showing you some pictures of what we saw over there. There were some outdoor installations that were really great. They were in Hyde Park. Hyde Park's amazing. And then went to Las Vegas, never been there before. One of the things I wanted to do while we were there was go to the Grand Canyon. So we actually decided not to drive. We thought, because we're not really planning on going to Vegas regularly, it's not something that we need to do unless it's for a business trip. We thought we'd go in a helicopter as a one-off, something never done before. I've always wanted to go in a helicopter. So we did that, and I'm going to show you an image of that, seeing the dam and the Grand Canyon. It was just an amazing experience. And I actually did a painting on that too, which is very orange and blue, because it's kind of the colours, it's very orangey. But there's all these different tones in the rocks. It's just amazing. It's an amazing experience, and it's probably something I'll never do again. So that was a great experience. And then I want to talk about, you don't have to spend a lot of money to travel. You can do a lot of travel locally. So out here in British Columbia, we have the most amazing forests and hiking areas. We've got lakes, we've got the ocean. So you don't have to go very far, travel very far to go to these places. I've got mountains surrounding us, so it's kind of why I've been inspired by the mountains recently and painting them. And these places were all great for inspiring my artwork, the nature. I think I've kind of leaned in towards the nature and the landscape opposed to figurative painting. I do like doing still life. I probably will. I think I talked about this before, where I'm going to start doing a bit more still life work because I used to enjoy painting still life. And yeah, I think that's kind of where this vlog's going to go. So there's going to be some pre-snow pictures, there's going to be helicopter ride, there's going to be the Hyde Park, London trip and Wedgwoods to get some video. I think I got some video, I hope I've still got that video footage of Wedgwoods. And we looked out on that day because it was quiet and there was hardly anybody there. Normally there's coach loads of people that go to the Wedgwood location. And they had the V&A there, which they got a lot of funding to keep and gather and curate pottery from I guess in the 1700s when Josiah Josiah Wedgwood actually started making a name for himself. And the guy I just watched a documentary on Wedgwood, and the guy I think he was in his 30s, and really started to make it in his 40s, 50s, and was going in his 60s and so on, until he passed away. So, and funnily enough, there's links in that, I don't know if it was his brother or his son or who it was, but Charles Darwin came from that family as well. So I just found the whole documentary fascinating. I'll try and link, if I can find it, I'll try and link it into the box below. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing much in the way of travelling. I'll certainly be doing a lot of local travelling. I also went to Whistler in the autumn and that was amazing. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time since I've been to Whistler in the fall, and the colours there were phenomenal. I did a painting on that of the Whistler village with all the colours as well. So and I always go up to Whistler at some point, usually in the summertime. I don't go skiing there anymore. It's just so full and busy, and when I was learning to ski up in Whistler, I did not have a good time, I'm afraid. The bunny slopes were just icy and they hadn't had a lot of snowfall, so yeah, skiing in Whistler isn't my favourite thing to do, even though the views up there are absolutely phenomenal. So in terms of travel this year, I don't have any plans. It's going to be a pretty frugal year so far. And it's probably just going to be things like locally. I mean, I do like cycling. Last year I wasn't able to go cycling because I put my back out, and it's only taken till recently, like this year, for it to kind of recover. It's not fully recovered yet. So I think I'm going to start cycling again this year. And what's great about the cycling is I get off the beaten track and I get to see the scenery that you don't get to see when you're driving in the car. So, and sometimes we get to see wildlife that you don't always get to enjoy when you're in the car, because you're just going at a pace that you from A to B. So the slower pace, and I think I'll take my camera out with me this time. I usually take my GoPro, but because sometimes we're speeding along because we're training for an event, I don't always get to stop and capture things. So I think this time I'll probably go solo, maybe with somebody else. I actually have a friend who really loves to do what I do, which is stop and enjoy the view and take pictures. So maybe I'll team up with her if she's available as well. And yeah, so I think that's what I'm probably going to be doing this year. Mostly local travel, maybe stay within Canada. I'd love actually go to Toronto. I've never been to Toronto. I'd like to go see the museums there and Niagara Falls, just because I've never seen Niagara Falls. I'm sure it's very impressive. So that would be something I'd like to do if we can do that. But that's going to be kind of later on in the year, maybe in the summertime or September, maybe. We'll see. Depends what's going on. So yeah, so just when I talk about travel, I just want to reiterate that you don't have to spend a lot of money to travel. You just need to open your eyes, be aware of what's around you, take the pace a bit slower, because there's a lot of beauty around where you are. And when I say take the pace slower, just kind of stop in some scenic views, take it all in, take that information in and observe the colours, because what might be perceived as green and blue, trees green, sky blue, is not always that colour. The roads are not necessarily grey if you really, really look. So yeah, it's more about observation and taking the time to enjoy that moment within your travel experience. I am in my office area and I'm going to try and hold this camera with a steady hand. Just going to have to bear with me. So this is one of my paintings on my wall in the office. It's a little bit messy desk, but it's what it is. Snowing outside, which I said we were going to get. Anyway, so these are some of the paintings that I did after doing some travelling. And this is when I was in London visiting Hyde Park and walking through. It was a stunningly beautiful day. Saw some well-known British characters while I was walking through as well. That was quite nice. Anyway, found a black swan on the pond. I say pond, it's probably I wouldn't call it a lake compared to what the lakes are like in Canada, but yeah. And then this is I think this is Kensington Palace, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there was a statue outside of Queen Victoria. And then this is when I was in Vegas, and I just wanted to do kind of a montage of what I saw when I was there. So they had the gondolas at the Venetian, and of course the famous Las Vegas sign, the slot machines, the love sign that I saw, and then the waterfall in the background, because it sits right behind a waterfall, if my memory serves me correctly. And then there's some big pillars. I just kind of wanted to make it very vibrant and fun, and didn't want to take this one too seriously because Vegas is Vegas. It's a party town. And then this is when we were in the helicopter, and I took quite a few pictures of the Grand Canyon, and this one struck me. And as you can see, it's not just oranges and blues. I've got lots of kind of pinks in there, yellows, some blues in there as well, and I just love the variety of colours. When the sun hit the rocks, you could just see all these different vibrant shades coming through, and you just look at it, it's like, oh, it's a big clump of orange. It really isn't. It's multiple colours, and the water was just vivid. It's amazing. And I did this one. This is from my bedroom view. So my house, or my parents' house, backs onto a park, and it's all greenery and it's lovely. And yeah, and this is the conservatory roof, and the tables and chairs out in the garden. It used to be grassy and had apple trees in there, but the wasps kept attacking the apples and also us, so they got taken out, and they wanted a low maintenance garden anyway. And this was the Whistler trip. You can see how much inspiration was coming through from all these trips I've had. It just all these vibrant colours and memories and things I wanted to hold and put on paper or canvas in this instance. And what I did is I just took multiple photographs rather than painting on location, because I just don't carry my sketchbook with me, which I should do really, but I always got my camera with me. So anyway, this is the Whistler trip, and this was in the town, and I just loved the vibrant colours. And we walked through the village and the multiple coloured trees and reds and greens, and the building was just vibrating. And if I redid this painting, this has got oils on it now, but if I redid this painting, I'd probably make this more of a muted tone too. It stands out just as much as everything stands out. So yeah, but I still like this. It's great painting. And then this is a trip to Kelowna. I don't think I mentioned that previously, but do 1 or 2 trips to Kelowna for business, and Merritt is kind of one of those places where you know where you're at in terms of the journey, because it's such a long journey. That Coquihalla Highway isn't my favourite drive, but it's not very pretty. If you go the other route, it's a lot prettier. But this is my favourite shot. This is my favourite place, and I got these greens and these pinks, and it was just a vibrant day, sunny day when we went. And then this is of the mountains, and I've got a few pictures of this one, but this was of the local mountains, and that I see pretty much every day on my drive. This is kind of in a different location, so there's a house and the trees are kind of sitting there. That's not the view that I have. I have to go off the beaten track to see that, usually on my bike or something, or heading off towards the farming area, because it's more open there, or on the dike on trails. But yeah, again, wanted to kind of have the mountains and different colours and different shades and just the vibrancy of it all. I still have my hat on, I can't help it. I'm having a messy hair day, so I'm covering it up, and I'm cold. I'm always cold, even with the heating on, I'm cold. So yeah, I think in terms of travel, done a lot of travel, or at least I did last year. Kelowna, Whistler, the UK, which was up and down the country, but I took specific areas that are of interest to me, including my childhood bedroom and my memorable places, in particular with Las Vegas, because I've never been there before. It's fun and it's colourful, it's vibrant, there's a lot of energy there. It was interesting in terms of that. So what I'm going to do is wrap this vlog up, and enjoying and preserving the things that are around you, and take a closer look and think about the colours that are there, look into the colours and the tones, and everybody's got their own style and their own way of using colour, and some people are perfectionists and they want to match the colour with what they see in front of them, which is great, and I've done that before as well. But now I want the vibrancy, I just want energy in my paintings, and I want colour, and I want the world to look more positive, is what I'm trying to get at. I think is my work is kind of, you can make a very grey scene into a very colourful, vibrant scene, and sometimes with everything that's going on in the world, you just want to, I always want to put some beauty into the world. So I guess that's the aim of my artwork, is to put some beauty back into the world, great lovely sides of things rather than the negative side of things, and be more positive and upbeat. So yeah, you find what it is that interests you, and it also helps to inspire and bring, if you're having a little bit of a struggle in the work that you're trying to do and convey, or you're having a bit of an art block, or you just don't want to create, and sometimes that's great, you need a break. Sometimes you just need to have a break, calm down, do something completely different, and then go back into nature and revisit it, and then you can start taking your photographs or taking your sketchbook with you and just enjoying the moment without putting any pressure on yourself to do a final canvas piece, because I do quite a lot of sketches, and sometimes those sketches will stay in this sketchbook, and some of those sketches will actually end up on a large canvas because I really love them and I think I can see potential in them on a larger scale. You don't have to do that with every piece, and that's what the beauty of having a sketchbook with you is all the time. And your sketchbook can be messy, it can be a final piece of work if you want it to be. I mean, I've got sketchbooks that are just covered in pencil and you may not make any sense of it, but I do. But I've also got sketchbooks where I've got pieces that are almost like a finished piece. And sometimes I do that just to practice and hone in my skills and focus on colour theory, where my pencil drawings are very much, I want to just get used to drawing shapes rather than perfection of every twig or leaf that you see. Particularly with trees, I struggled with trees for quite a long time, and I just realised there's no rhyme or reason to a tree. They just kind of just branch out as they need to. So I've kind of gotten used to doing my trees a little bit more messy, because nature can be messy. I'm sure it has a reason for it, but for me as a viewer and as an artist, I see it as messy. So just get used to that mess, creating a little bit of a mess. Don't worry about the finer details in your work, because the eye can fill in the blanks. So yeah, I think just go out, enjoy yourself, be observant, whether it's local, whether you're having a long weekend a few miles away, or you're doing a international trip. Just take pictures if you can't take your sketchbook. Just observe what's around you and enjoy the moment, enjoy that time as much as you can, because it's very easy to miss it. That's a wrap. Until the next week. And I think what I'm going to be doing is publishing my videos on the weekend. I'm going to try out Saturdays and Sundays. I'm not going to do the Wednesdays anymore. It's not a great day for vlogging, or at least publishing vlogs, and sometimes I forget to tell people that the vlog's out. So just because again it's a weekday, so I think I'm going to do it on the weekends when people got a bit more time. It's going to be in the mornings and it's going to be Pacific time. And I'm going to try to post around 10 o'clock, because I do schedule my posts, so they'll probably schedule for around 10, 11 o'clock. So hopefully you're up and about and you're relaxing with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and you're just enjoying doing whatever it is you do on a Saturday morning. If you're like me and you don't work at weekends, well, I try not to anyway. You often do, but I try not to. Yeah, so that's a wrap, and that's it.